Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scrollies podcast. I am Squat Cobbler, and I am joined by my co-host.
Yo, what's up? It's Team Ratnado. I'm really excited today, Squat. We got a really good guest.
I'm really excited as well, and the reason for that is because we have notable, active Scrollies Discord channel member and notable general podcast non-listener, Eggy, with us.
I've listened to one episode.
Oh my gosh. Is that the first podcast you've ever listened to?
It might be.
It might be. Well,
At least all the way through.
That's a prestigious honor for Scrollies. We got to put that on the artwork.
I will say, too, that, my mother still hasn't even listened to the podcast, so...
I'll take that.
Thank you, Eggy. No, I'm just joking.
I'm not trying to replace your mom.
I wasn't asking you to, but hey, you never know.
If it comes down to it.
The care is there. Well, Eggy, it's a pleasure to have you here on Scrollies. Today, we're going to be talking about a subject that Eggy, I'd say, is an expert in. It seems like it's his bread and butter. And I think everyone has a little bit to say about these type of games. But before we get into that, we're introducing a new segment here on Scrollies called Rank 'em by the Dozen. Ratnado, would you like to get into this a little?
Yes, Eggy, I have a couple questions here for you. You know, you have to take this kind of opportunity when we've got you on the mic and I can make you say stuff and then it's going to last forever.
Okay.
So I just need to know this. Are you ready, Eggy?
I was not told about this ahead of time, but okay.
Those are the best kind of segments.
All right, Egg, I've got some names for you. These are Eggy nicknames and I need you to rate them on a scale of 1 to a dozen in a carton, okay?
Oh, okay. Perfect.
All right. First one. All right. This one's kind of a classic. Eggward. How do you feel about that?
Okay, everyone likes this one, so I can't rank it too negatively. It's kind of catchy, but then on the other hand, it reminds me of Squidward, and I don't want to be related to Squidward, if you get where I'm coming from.
That's what, whenever I think of it, that's what I think of. I think of Squidward.
Exactly. I think I'll give it 8.
8? Okay.
All right, 8 out of a dozen. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's, right in the middle.
All right.
Least likely to spoil.
Hey, that's enough. That's a pretty hearty breakfast. 8 eggs.
Oh my god, that's too many.
All right, next one. All right. This one, it's kind of a theme here. Ignacio.
Okay, I've never heard this one before, and quite frankly, I don't like it. You know, a nickname is meant to simplify things. It's taking it too far.
Sounds exotic.
Yeah.
I guess it's exotic. Okay. For that, I'll give it 3.
Brings a little international flair to the Eggy brand.
I was going to say, when you cross over into the international market, when you start going down into Mexico, Central America, South America, Ignacio is the perfect way in, dude.
Okay. 4.
All right. I kind of got into I'm going to skip one of them.
Oh.
But we're going to get into this. I kind of got into a little thing here. All right. How about this? Connor McGregor with 2 G's.
Ooh.
Connor McGregor.
Is this supposed to be a good one?
You know, like
Roasted.
Like the fighter.
Okay, but what's it have to do with Eggy?
It's got your name in it. Connor McGregor.
Okay.
With 2 G's.
I don't know. 1.
Well, one is in highest, or one is in
one is the
worst?
lowest.
Okay.
1 egg out of 12 egg.
It's 1 rotten egg.
It is.
That's 1 sad carton.
Yeah, it's a lonely egg. All by itself.
Okay, how about this one? Eggy on a grande.
Oh, okay. This one's better.
I thought this one was terrible.
No, this one's better. It's more relatable.
Okay.
It resonates with the youth. Good for branding.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That makes sense.
I'm thinking this one can have 7.
All right. Okay. I'm getting there. I'm getting higher. We're getting closer.
I mean, the first was still the highest.
Eggward is pretty good, except for the hints of Squidward.
Yeah.
Next one. How about Egg Sheeran?
Ooh, okay. That's like the last one, but it makes more sense.
A little bit. Hey, I've been working on this nonstop basically since we booked Eggy about 3 weeks ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, you obviously have to do better. You haven't reached the full dozen yet.
That would have conceptually been a lot better.
Alright, this one I have, I'll give it 9.
Okay.
9 eggs. Hey, we're getting up there.
That's 3 omelets right there.
Yeah, it's 3/4 of a dozen right there.
All right, I've got 2 more. I'm going to hit you with these. First of all, Chris Eggins.
Ooh. I don't know about this one. It's leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
You got something against Captain America?
I wouldn't want to eat that egg, though. Like, if someone shows you an egg and says, this is Chris Eggins, you don't want to say, ooh, can I eat it?
Hey, that's America's egg.
Okay. For all of his sacrifices against Red Skull and Thanos and, I guess, Tony, kind of, he can have 8.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sad I haven't quite broken 10 yet. I just have to break 10. And I think I'm going to with this last one, Eggy, all right?
Okay.
You ready?
I've never been more ready.
Okay, here we go.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Okay, now I'm ready.
Eggy, what if people called you Eggin the Stallion? Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm in awe.
It's got egg in it.
Incredible.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got egg in it. Come on.
How did you think of that?
Well, I was listening to music as one does, and then somebody came up and said, "What are you listening to? Quit listening to Final Fantasy soundtracks at the gym and listen to some Megan Thee Stallion." And it clicked right there.
Well, I want to personally thank that person. Because this is a 12.5.
Whoa.
Doesn't even all fit.
It's a baker dozen. A baker's dozen of cartons.
It's almost enough to gorge yourself.
You heard it here. We did it. We broke it. We got the baker's dozen. We're ready to make some bread now. But hey, that's for our next guest, who's going to be. You guys don't know him, Breadman86, and he's for down the road. He's huge. He's huge on TikTok. But we're here with Eggy right now, right, Squat?
Yes, we're here with the one, the only, the meme lord supreme, Eggy, formerly Eggy3636, currently EggyCarton, tomorrow could be anything, but always Eggy. Eggy, it's a pleasure, and let me tell you, today we're talking about licensed games. We sort of touched on it already with our games based on movies episode, pre-Ratcon, but, that's just a drop in the ocean that is licensed material in video games. We're talking movies, TV shows, comic book characters, brands, maybe even more, maybe even beyond that. Eggy, it seems like, to me anyway, this is really your forte. You love playing the licensed games. At least that's what you stream. That's what I always can expect to find on an Eggy stream, is some licensed game being experienced by all.
Yeah, that's true. But I mostly play them because they're bad.
Well, that notwithstanding, they're prevalent. They're prevalent, and everyone's played one. Everyone's been drawn to something because
That's true.
It has some recognizable element on them. The quality, hey, it varies. Usually bad, sometimes not. We'll get into both. But
exactly.
Yeah, I guess real quick, do any of us have a favorite licensed game?
Ooh.
I'm just going to guess right now that I already know what Squat Cobbler's going to say, the one that he likes.
I'm very predictable, so you're probably right.
Yeah, I'm sure I know.
I'll go first, and we'll all sigh once we all predictably say it. My favorite licensed game series is Batman Arkham, and naturally, Arkham City would be my favorite among them, because it's the best one.
Mine's gonna be stupid now. In comparison to that.
Hey, Eggy, do you know what podcast you're on?
Well, I promise no one agrees.
Please, the hotter the take, the better.
Okay.
Yeah. Arkham City, my favorite licensed game. Ratnado, how about yourself?
Eggy, I once tried to troll Squat Cobbler by asking him if Super Smash Bros. Was a side scroller. So don't worry, there's no take too hot. There's no fan out there so angry that they're gonna throw eggs at your house, and that would even be a good thing.
Yeah. More for the collection.
More for the carton.
More for the carton. Yeah, exactly. You know what? I actually for a second, I was like, Squat's favorite is gonna be Spider-Man, and then he's like,
Ooh.
Then you're like, I'm very predictable. I'm like, no, it's Batman.
Yeah, I did like Spider-Man, Spider-Man PS4, but it was a little too long in the tooth for me. A bit too repetitive, at least for streaming. So
yeah,
no, Batman Arkham for me.
That's understandable. I have a bunch of favorite licensed games. I'm just gonna name two of them up top that came to mind really quick. The first one being South Park: Stick of Truth. I remember when that came out when I was in college. And I don't watch South Park that often anymore, but I did when I was younger. Man, it came out and I was like, I don't know, I like South Park, and I'll play it. And it was like actually a really good game. And I played it through like 3 or 4 times. I didn't have a lot of games back then because I was in college and poor, but that's a really good one. I highly recommend if you like RPGs in any way and you don't mind like the South Park crass humor of it all, check it out. The other one that I thought of, The Simpsons Hit and Run, which was really good on the GameCube. And I believe they've remastered it now. And I had played Grand Theft Auto at that point, but I loved The Simpsons so much when I was a kid. And then that came out. And oh my goodness, it was great.
But Ratnado, that just begs the question. Is Simpsons Hit and Run retro?
Oh, this just came up on Sam's stream again.
It's truly the eternal question that will, Eggy, we should ask you as one of the youths, do you consider the PS3 and the Xbox 360 to be retro consoles now? Make a definitive statement from Gen Z.
I wouldn't say retro, but I would say old, maybe outdated, but not retro.
Thank you.
There we go. Thank
you, Egg.
We're gonna quote that. We're gonna quote that. Eggy, prepare for the hate mail. I'm sorry that we set you up for that, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
You're gonna quote it at the end of the quote. Put my email underneath. Please send hate mail.
We'll forward all of the ones, all the hate mail from scrollyspodcast@gmail.com to Eggy Garfield fan 420.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Eggy, how about yourself?
So, I can honestly say I have one that I don't think anyone agrees with, just because I haven't played it.
But how can it be your favorite, then?
I've played it. I'm the one person who's played this game, probably.
All right, fair enough.
Shrek 2 on the Xbox original.
Okay.
Is that...
All right.
What?
It's really good. There's a couple parts where it gets unnecessarily hard, and a couple parts where it gets repetitive, but for a Shrek 2 game, it is one of my favorite games.
What drew you to it?
Well, when I was really little, my parents bought it, and so I played it.
That tends to be how it goes when you're a youngin'. Now tell me, I'm aware of a few different Shrek games of the time, but I think I'm thinking of one that's like a Smash clone. And I think that came out a while later, because that probably came out after Brawl. What kind of game is Shrek 2 on the Xbox?
It's like a 3D platformer.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Shrek 2 is the best Shrek movie, so it would make sense that it would have the best Shrek game attached to it.
Exactly. Well, the Shrek 1 game sucks so bad. I have both.
Yeah.
Really? Wait, you've played them, Squad?
Huh? No, I'm making a educated guess that it would be the best based on being the best movie.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, I think I missed the whole Shrek thing. I mean, I remember watching it and seeing it, and it's good. I like Shrek. But those types of games, I know that I've seen Drake Olaire play a few licensed games, and I think he said he was going to play that at some point, so I'll get to see it soon, maybe.
I hope he does.
Hopefully. I hope to one day vicariously experience Eggy's favorite licensed game as the foremost expert on licensed material in video games. Now, Eggy, before you said most of them are bad, and I would tend to agree. I think the draw of licensed games usually doesn't come from the gameplay on display. I think we can all agree on this. In fact, it seems like usually the gameplay of a licensed game is just taking the elements of some other game, usually a popular one at the time, and then just throwing these recognizable elements onto them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As such, I one that comes to mind from when I was a kid, Avatar Bobble Battles. For those that don't know, the Last Airbender show had these chibi shorts that came out in season 2 online, and I think they premiered on TV with the first 3 episodes of season 3 or book 3. And this game was my first foray into the RTS world. In fact, it wasn't until shortly after when I first started playing StarCraft, I'm like, oh wait, this is just like Avatar Bobble Battles. Oh wait, Avatar Bobble Battles is just like this because it has base building, it has different classes of characters, it has a advancing tree structure of units, and yeah, it's StarCraft or maybe it's Warcraft, but with chibi Avatar characters.
I'm just imagining Squat like, these Blizzard guys ripped off Avatar.
Yeah.
What the heck? Why would they do this? So yeah, I think for myself that tends to be the norm. It's very rare that you see a original concept in a licensed game. Usually it's something very rote, very established with recognizable elements included into it.
An orange cat comes to mind. You guys are both there.
Sir, we wouldn't dare speak his name into existence because that would curse this podcast. But if you know, you know. If you have any encounters, you know where to share them. The Eggy Discord.
I believe though it's pronounced Enactors, Squat Cobbler.
Yeah.
Enactors.
So
Indeed.
I'm sorry about him, Egg. I'm really sorry about that.
I'm a fake fan. Really. Yeah, I've played some doozies in my time as well. There are some ones that I wouldn't dare touch again, and I only even glanced at because I'm like, oh, yeah, recognizable character. These games I had a lot of fun with at the time, but I wouldn't call them good. So yeah, you think licensed properties would mean like IPs, any character from a franchise, maybe like a recognizable mascot. But what about stores? Store brands? The Cabela's hunting games. There was a series in the early 2010s. In fact, I know because the year was included in the title. Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2011, Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2013. These were story-driven hunting games. And from what I remember, it had an anti-poaching message. However, throughout the game, you're killing hundreds and hundreds of animals in the African savannah, so I don't know how much water that holds.
You know what's funny is that they really thought they were going to be Madden. Like, oh, of course we're going to come out every year updated. It's going to be great. We're all going to be rich off of this.
Just keep throwing the years on it, and one day we'll reach what is it? Cabela's 25, even though it's not 2025, but it's the 25th game in the series. That's all I know about modern Madden, folks. I'm sorry. We shouldn't be talking about sports games. We'll wait for an expert like sports game guy to join us for that.
There you go.
Now, let me tell you another story about a similar hunting adjacent game. Rapella's, yet another brand. They had a fishing game, and this fishing game, it was semi-open world. There were like these areas. And in the areas, you would go and you could fish bass, you could fish trout, you could fish salmon. But, it was like self-contained to these areas. So I remember this one level in it, you're in this field. And in this field, there was this little pond, and you could catch gars in the pond, like, alligator gars. So I'd fish in there, and I just kept catching gar after gar after gar. And I was like, man, this is some kind of gar field. I just about to hang up and leave.
I was really tempted.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, I'm done.
I knew where it was going. As soon as he said gar.
I should have.
I got it out of my system.
Yeah, he wrote that literally the first episode. He's like, would we eventually get Eggy? In fact, can we put that in there? Us from 7 months ago?
Okay, so Ratnado, what we need to do on this new scrollies thing. Well, you see, it's not going to happen right away because that'd be too obvious. But
Of course.
we need to make this thing go for about 7 straight months, and in that time, we're gonna be hounding Eggy. Even though he doesn't listen to the podcast, we're gonna be continually tagging him in the Discord with Garfield gifts. And you see, eventually that'll persuade him to join as a guest. And when he does, I'm gonna make this pun about Garfield, and he's gonna leave. It's gonna be so funny. Okay. So let's talk about numbers games next week. But yeah, that's the plan. Okay.
Squat, I have COVID, brother.
Oh.
You gotta let me sleep, man.
I'm sorry, but we gotta release weekly episodes anyway. Anyway, moving on.
Eggy, talk to us. Talk to us about your experience. Like, what is it about that draws you in that? I kind of get it, of like, I want to go do this thing that's not great, but it's bad, so bad it's good, right? Is that kind of what draws you towards them?
I love how goofy they are, you know? There's always something ridiculous happening. And that's probably the most appealing part of it to me.
What I think is kind of crazy is too is you're probably out of the zeitgeist for a lot of these things because they're based on licenses like at the time were popping. I mean, like, you have a Catwoman game, right? You have all these like different things that it's just like, this is so popular right now. Of course we have to do a game for it. And now, like, we're out of it now. We're like 10 years, 15 years in some of these away from that time. Does that, I don't know, how does that hit you? Because for me, these are like cultural memories of like, I can be like, oh yeah, 100%. I remember when everyone was super, super hyped about the Emperor's New Groove. And of course there was a game. That doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't. I'm stuck with all the old ones for the most part.
Oh, or the remasters, the rehydrated.
That's
versions.
true. The rehydrated.
I think part of that has to do with the fact that game development just takes so much longer now. You used to be able to pump them out like within a year or two, and
Yeah, now they need to be quality.
usually like they could kind of predict like, oh hey, this big like event is going to be happening, you know, a couple years down the road. We need some kind of video game to go along with it, or movies coming out, so we're going to be working on the game alongside the movie. But now it just takes so much longer because the graphics are better, the expectations are higher, that you can't really plan around it as much if you actually want it to be good. I think they still exist throughout NATO, but they exist in places where the standard of quality is not so consistent, or maybe it is consistent, but not so positively so, like the mobile game market or even cheapo Switch apps or stuff like that.
So, what is it you get out of it? What is the enjoyment? Do you like making fun of them? Is it just like how weird and kitschy it is?
It's kind of charming. I think that I play it. I mean, most of the time they aren't super fun gameplay wise, but coming together over something terrible is special.
Indeed. Perhaps
Go put that on a t-shirt.
perhaps you could. Could you even say, Eggy, do you feel like a lot of people that come across your streams are fans of the property?
Sometimes. When I
Sometimes?
played Lego Batman, a lot of people came in who were like, "Oh, I love Lego Batman," and then they never came back because I started playing other games.
That's the nature. That's the sad nature of variety streaming, unfortunately. Oh, hey, I'm a huge fan of this game. Oh, you play other games too? Okay, bye.
Maybe I should be Lego Batman exclusive.
You know, I think you could easily become Twitch's top Lego Batman streamer. I think you have that in you. Because I remember we came across Eggy initially because that's Amori was doing SpongeBob watch parties, and Eggy was playing SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated Edition.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a draw of playing licensed games. Is that you get fans of the licensed material. Whether that's what you want for your channel or not is, I guess, up to you. But
So far, it's working out.
yeah.
Except all the Garfield stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you did that to yourself, Eggy.
You guys,
That's true.
this kid tortures himself with Garfield. I don't understand it. Like, I remember, like, this is when I first started to get to know Eggy. I remember when we first raided, because at that time, I was also playing Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. And I was like, who is this kid? Man, he's crazy. He's got so much energy. And then I came back, like, just on my own. I don't think anybody else, like, was there. So I go into his channel and it's just like 24-hour Garfield.
They called me a bad man.
And everyone wonders why I hate Garfield. They always ask me.
I watched with you for like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you were just like dying. And I'm like, why would you do this to yourself? You don't have to do this.
Well, on the one hand, that's something I've done that no one else in the world has ever done before. So that's cool.
He's a trailblazer rat. Come on, you can
Yeah,
understand
I'm a
that.
pioneer. Soon everyone's gonna be doing that. Trust.
The premier Garfield self torture 24 hours straight.
It's banned in most first world countries.
That was also the first time I played Garfield Kart.
Oh man.
You know, I became an expert on time zones because of the Garfield card tournaments. So I thank you that, Eggy. I always know what time it is in Australia now.
Yo, shout out Remus.
Shout out Remus
On the other side. He's definitely asleep right now, right? Or no,
he should
it's
be
early
awake.
morning.
Yeah. It's like 10 a.m.
Yeah. You're right.
There we go. See, I knew that because I know
Yeah,
everything
you
about
knew
time
that.
zones. I know
That's why you didn't
everything
answer.
about time zones because I think like Eggy 3636 Carton, Fano 42069 69.
What's your next name, Eggy? What do you think you're going to go with your name in the future? Give the listeners of Scrollies, I don't know, the 6 month, the 2 year, and the 5 year.
That's a hard thing to say, because usually I just kind of decide spontaneously. I'm like, you know what, I'm sick of having numbers in my name. Let me change it to something that relates to eggs, but doesn't have numbers. Like, I don't know, scrambled. I tried scrambled eggy, it was taken. Fried eggy, it was taken. Every eggy was taken. So I'm like, okay, what about EggyCarton? And that wasn't taken. That's the story.
Just because it wasn't taken. What if you found something else that was eggy but not a carton? You would have just been that.
I tried a couple, but most of them are taken. There's a lot of eggies on Twitch.
I hope that somebody finds this podcast and they're just like, hold on a second. This isn't the Eggy I know.
I'm scrambled eggy.
he's
I want fried eggy and scrambled eggy to listen to this. Give me your name.
Yo, shout out to all the scrambled eggy and the fried eggy fans. Thanks for being here. Join the Discord. Go check out EggyCarton as well.
I got the ultimate arc for the Eggy naming scheme. We're gonna start out. Egg Carton begins. We're gonna move on to the scrambled eggy, and then lastly, the scrambled eggy rises.
Pretty good. That's good. Can I offer one for the middle for the second one? Could it be? What was the first one again?
I don't remember. Egg Carton begins.
EggyCarton begins.
Nonetheless, I think we've delved into the nature of licensed games. I think that we've stared into the void, and the void has stared back at us, and it looks like lasagna. So, Eggy, thank you so much for being on the Scrollies podcast.
Of course.
Please tell us, where can people check out you and your stuff?
Ooh, I'm on Twitch, EggyCarton, and that's about it.
We'll need a hyperlink that always redirects to whatever the next iteration of the Eggy channel is.
How are they gonna click it?
You'll find that in the podcast description, folks. So EggyCarton for now.
That's the title of this episode.
It's his name's in the description. I don't know what it is going to be tomorrow. That's the title.
Yo, thanks, Eggs. Thanks for being on this. I hate to out you, but he was dreaming about pizza. I had to wake him up. I had to call him and wake him up.
That's true.
There are breakfast pizzas, so maybe he was just trying to think of the next iteration in his subconscious.
Lunch pizzas.
How's that different than a dinner pizza?
You have it earlier.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we're going to get a better fact than that.
That's profound. Whoa. I'll never look at lunch pizzas the same way again. All right. Eggy, thanks again. I've been Squat Cobbler of the Scrollies podcast, and I am joined by my co-host.
You know I'm still Team Ratnado.
And I'm Eggy.
I guess he's a co-host now too. I mean, we didn't specify in between.
Yep.
Sorry, Audio, you gotta go.
See you all next week.
Audio, you're fired. Eggy, you're sitting in from now on. All right. Take care, everyone. We will catch you in the next one. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Met Eggy the Stallion.
It's Met Eggy the Stallion.
That was so bad.
Thank you for playing along. I needed that. I didn't want to say it, but in fact, now it's out there on the recording. I really needed that.